So, this is the third video I've made in a short period of time talking about price increases for video game consoles and games. So, not too long ago, we talked about Sony increasing the price of the PS5, and then, of course, recently there was the whole fiasco with the Switch 2 and the price increases for games now being $80, sometimes $90 physical. Well, now Microsoft is joining in on that, and we have a whole list right here of the price increases for all the Xbox products and what they are now compared to what they were before. Sometimes up to $100 more expensive, some of these different versions of the Xbox consoles are. And, even talking about controllers and headsets and everything is just going up in price. And these are significant increases. And now, like, the other thing is also the game prices themselves going up. It's up to $80. That hasn't happened yet, but they say it's going to happen around the holiday season, is that new games are now going to be $80. So we had a whole debate for just a couple of years about $70 games and whether or not it was worth paying $70, and they were going up from 60 and now are already going up to 80. Now, tariffs are a thing, right? They are. And it's a serious issue that's affecting global trade, and it is having a negative effect on prices. Prices are going up as a result of tariffs. That being said, when we're talking about digital-only games on a digital storefront, tariffs have zero effect. Even if they're a game that's sold by like a Japanese company or whatever, the tariffs have no application there when we're talking about digital goods and digital services. So that indicates that tariffs, while they're a part of the situation, they're also using tariffs as a way to capitalize and to essentially increase their profit margins and to make more money. Like with inflation and everything that was going on, like all the companies like Walmart and all the massive retailers were obviously, the prices were increasing because of inflation, but at the same time, their profit margins actually expanded because they raised the prices, but they raised it even more so that their profit was even more, if that makes sense. So these big companies are going to use situations like this to be like, well, we have to, the prices have to be like this because of the economy, because of tariffs, because of this, and because of that. And while, yes, like, you have to have a price increase because of these things that are out of their control, like Microsoft and other companies, at the same time, you don't have to increase it as much as you are. That's the thing that they're being deceptive about. So it's very interesting, and we'll see how this affects sales. I mean, the Series X and Series S consoles were already so far behind PlayStation, and this increase is definitely a lot more significant compared to the what Sony did with the PlayStation 5, especially since that only applied to select regions, not worldwide, like this seems to be. Yeah, I guess Game Pass is going to be... Maybe that's the strategy. Make everything so expensive and unaffordable. Make game prices so expensive and everything else, like the actual consoles themselves, so you have even more people that transition to cloud gaming and Game Pass, and that they'll make more money that way. That's probably part of the strategy, too, because they've really been pushing that over the past, 7 or 8 years. That's another thing to think about. Yeah, I never planned on getting an Xbox Series X this entire generation anyway. I'm still happy with my Xbox One that I just used to play certain backwards compatible games like Call of Duty, the old school COD games. That's pretty much mostly what I play on there. I don't really need I have a gaming PC, and oh my god, in hindsight, I got my PC at the perfect time. I got it back in September, and all the shit that's been going on since then in the PC market, in the gaming industry, and prices and everything, I think I couldn't have picked a better time to upgrade and get a new computer so I can hopefully weather the storm for the next, probably 4 or 5 years before I feel the need to upgrade again. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what do you guys think about these increases specifically related to the Xbox, and how do you think this is going to play out? Do you think people are going to just happily pay these higher prices? Do you think Microsoft, this is going to pay off for Microsoft? And do you think that, like what I've been saying, tariffs are only part of the story here. There's definitely a little bit more than that going on. I think that is definitely a fair thing to say.